Hello, everyone. This is De'Aquilyn, and welcome to our weekly Inner Glow confidence call. I'm so excited to have you on the call tonight. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to dial in, taking time out of your week to be here. I am excited about tonight's message, which is how to get back on course when you have lost focus. How to get back on course when you have lost focus. Just so you'll know, I am De'Aquilyn Williams. I am a life coach. I teach people how to do the inner work to honor, empower, accept, and love themselves unconditionally. And I'm always at your service to be able to help you and coach you or whatever you need, so feel free to reach out to me. I want to encourage you to have a pen and notepad to take notes. Also, after the call, I'm going to do a quick Q&A. So what I'll do is I will actually end the call and unmute the lines. So I always ask that you stay on after I say good night. I'm saying good night for the recording's sake. And then just stay on the call if you have any questions or comments that you would like to make. Also, if you would like to give or sow a seed for tonight, you can cash out me at $I am De'Aquilyn. That's $IAMDEAQUELYNN. Or you can send it via PayPal, paypal.me/I am De'Aquilyn. So with that, again, thank you so much for taking time to be a part of tonight's call. So again, our topic is how to get back on course when you have lost focus. And here's the thing, we've all had moments in our lives when we have gotten off course, whether it was a life path or off course with our goals, with, our relationships, off course in our finances, or even off course in our spiritual path. We've all experienced that. And listen to what I said. We all have experienced that. Everybody has a time or two or even a few times in their lives when they've gotten off course. And there are a lot of factors that goes into getting off course. I think that we tend to think that we're the only ones. So that's why I want to stress that we all do this. We all do this. Even the people that you look up to, that that you feel like they are driven and all of that, at some point in their lives they've gotten off course. And, whatever the reasons were the reasons. But here's the thing. We can always get back on course. We can always get back on course. So here are a few factors that does cause us to get off course. A lot of it is lack of focus. We just lose focus. And an acronym for the word focus is follow one course until successful, or follow on course until successful. And if you can do that, then that's when you can really stay the course. But if you can't do that, if you lose focus, then that's when you're going to find yourself wondering, like, where am I? How did I get here? Another factor is distractions. We become distracted by life, by conditions, by situations, by people. We just get distracted. Another factor is procrastination. And I always say this, procrastination is rooted in fear. So if you're procrastinating, you have to follow that and say, okay, what's the underlying fear here and why I am procrastinating getting this goal completed or getting this job done or whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So procrastination is another factor that gets us off course. Another one is unintentional goal planning and unintentional living. If you have a goal for yourself, if you have something that you want to achieve or attain, you have to start living intentionally around that goal. So for me, I want to impact the lives of thousands of women and girls all over the world. And a part of my intentional living is doing these weekly calls and then posting these weekly calls in my private Facebook group and on YouTube so that I can start building and beginning to make that reach. So you have to start really living intentionally around whatever goal or whatever life purpose that you set for yourself. If you don't live intentionally, you will fall off the course, and you will have to do some of the things that I prescribe to get back on course. Other factors include self-doubt or lack of belief, and sometimes it's not just necessarily that we doubt ourselves, we doubt God, we doubt God's ability to, or not even just necessarily God's ability, because we all know God is able. We mainly doubt God's willingness to help us, God's willingness to bless us, God's willingness to keep us, So we have to make sure that we deal with that self-doubt and that lack of belief. Another factor includes physical, mental, and emotional imbalances. And by that, what I mean is maybe low energy, maybe, you're physically, you have like headaches or fatigue or stomach issues, or maybe mentally you just feel like you can't mentally stay focused. Well, there's some imbalance there. Maybe you're having some emotional imbalances that may need the help of, a doctor. And what we tend to do is we tend to think that something is wrong with us, and really is nothing wrong with you apart from there's an imbalance that needs to be checked and taken care of. So make sure that you are taking care of your physical well-being. I have a perfect example of this. A few weeks ago, I was really fatigued. It was actually, a couple of months ago. I was really fatigued, and I kept saying, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. It was like my body was moving really, really slow. And not only was I fatigued, but I found myself crying and feeling so heavy emotionally. And I kept looking around like, I don't have any reason to feel this way. What's going on with me? And, I try to tell people not to self-diagnose. But this particular day, I felt inspired to look up everything that I was feeling and everything that I was going through. And all it really boiled down to for me in that moment was that I had a vitamin deficiency. And I sent my niece to the store. I was like, can you please go get these 2 vitamins for me? And she went and got those 2 vitamins. And literally, after I took those vitamins, within maybe about 15 or 20 minutes, I felt my energy come back into my body. So I said that to say that these imbalances, we have to be mindful of, our bodies and our emotional health and our mental health, because that plays a part in whether we are focused. And I wasn't focused. I was fatigued. I was tired. And again, I was just mentally and emotionally just not present like I normally am. And so you have to be mindful of things like that. Another factor in us getting off course is busyness. Busy doing all things but the right thing. You know what happens with us getting so busy is sometimes we have a problem with saying no. And remember, I just talked about intentional living. If you're going to live intentionally, you have to be willing to say no. And I like to call it an intentional yes and an intentional no. Like, I intentionally, on purpose, say no because you have your own reasons. You don't owe a person an explanation for saying no, but you just say no because you know that whatever it is that they're asking you to do may require more of you than you have to give. And let me just say this. It's okay to say no. I want you to say that to yourself right now, out loud, out of your mouth. It's okay to say no. 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 Now I want you to practice. Just say no. Let's do it 5 times. No. 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 Did that hurt you? Did it make you feel bad to say it? Did it take away from your life? Did it take anything away from you right now, just in that moment saying no? What we tend to think is that if I say no, it's going to ruin a relationship. If I say no, it's not, then I'm going to be looked at as a bad person or whatever. Even if that's the case, and you know that you're saying no for a very specific reason, then that person, that condition, that thing that causes you to feel bad about saying no, really you have to think about what what are you really in my life for then? If I can't say no and you receive it and accept it, then are you really serving me in this relationship? Are we really serving each other in this relationship? And this is not just about saying no to people, but saying no to things. For me, recently it's been social media. I actually took myself off and I took the apps off my phone. I have been on Facebook a couple of times over the past week because I was helping a friend launch a video series, and then the girls went to school and I kept getting tagged and stuff, and it kept popping up in my notifications, so I had to uninstall the app. But we have to get into a space where we are really intentional about how we live our lives and not be so busy, not be so overwhelmed that we lose focus. And that's what happened with me with social media. I was losing focus, and I kept saying, and I kept hearing spirits say, take a break, take a break. It's okay, take a break. You don't have to be, you don't have to post every day. You don't have to, support this person's live every time they go live. You don't have to do this, and you don't have to do that. Take a break. It's okay. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And this is the last factor that I have on why we lose focus, is a lack of self-love and a lack of self-respect. I love what A Course in Miracles says. I actually read it just today in my notes. It says that you owe yourself greater respect. You owe yourself greater respect. And in that word respect means esteem or a sense of worth or excellence of a person, a personal quality or ability, or something considered as a manifestation of a personal quality or ability. I'm sorry, that's the word, respect is what I'm giving. And also the condition of being esteemed or honored, favor, or consideration. Guess what? You owe yourself greater esteem, greater worth, and greater honor. And sometimes what that means is, like I just said, saying no intentionally, saying yes intentionally, but it also means that I give myself time and I give myself permission to put myself in a space where I know that I can focus on my dreams, my goals, my aspirations, and whatever it is and however it is I'm supposed to live. You owe yourself greater respect. You owe yourself self-love. You owe it to your body. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your heart, your soul, your mind, your spirit. You owe it to who you are, the greater self-love and greater respect. So here's the thing. Usually when we veer off course, it means that we've basically come out of alignment. If a car gets out of alignment, it starts doing what? It starts shaking, or sometimes it starts veering off. If you're not holding on to the steering wheel tightly, it'll start veering off of one or the other direction. It doesn't go straight when it's out of alignment. And that's the same thing with us. When we're out of alignment, we tend to easily veer off in one direction or another direction and not really stay on course, follow on course until we succeed in whatever it is that we're wanting to succeed in. And so some of the indications that you are off course is you're constantly complaining. You're out of alignment and you're off course when you're constantly complaining. When you're restless, when your attention is outwardly instead of inwardly, when you're focused on everything and everybody else as opposed to really going within and focusing on you and God. Another indication of being out of alignment is you're out of sync with God and your spiritual center. Another one is that your mind is cluttered and your environment is cluttered. We tend to hold my I don't know what to call it, but I guess you can say my saying of the word environmental. The last 5 letters of environmental, MENTAL, 6 letters. That's what it's all about, because your outer environment plays a big part on your mental environment. As a matter of fact, as within, so without. So if you are cluttered in your thoughts on the inside, it's going to show up on the outside some kind of way. It may not be your house, but it may be your car is cluttered, or it may not be that your car is cluttered, but maybe your desk at work is cluttered. It shows up in some kind of way. Maybe your finances is cluttered and all over the place. So that's another indication that you are out of alignment, cluttered mind and cluttered environment. Another one is you no longer do the things that make you happy. You no longer do the things that make you happy. If you are feeling like life is a chore and not something that you can enjoy or should enjoy, then you are out of center. You are out of alignment. And it's time to pull yourself back into your center, which is the center of you, within you, where you and God dwell. Another indication that you are out of alignment is you disconnect yourself from people and from activities that are in your life to help you. I'm not talking about random things. I'm talking about purpose things and purpose people in your life. You begin to pull away from them because you're out of alignment. You're not on course. But then on the flip side of that, another indication is that you hold on to things, conditions, and people that no longer serve you. Trying to make a relationship work that you know in your heart of hearts has been over forever. That will pull you out of alignment. That will get you off course. Holding on to a job that you know that your time is up there and you're miserable. It's time for you to move on. You just got to step out on faith and say, hey, I know that my time is up here, and I trust God to lead me to the new space, whatever that new space is. We hold on to things. People hold on to cars. People hold on to houses and homes and apartments and furniture and stuff that really no longer serves them. It's time to start letting things go and do that in a way that is going to free you up. Free up your mind, free up your emotions, free up the space around you. And another indication of being out of off course and out of alignment is defensive. You're always defensive, always fussing, and just everybody is out to get you, and you start playing the victim, and it's everybody else's fault, and you don't take responsibility, and all of that. If you feel like that's where your life is right now, it simply means that you have gotten off course. And guess what? You can get back on course. And I'm here tonight to share with you, I believe there are 8 ways that you can get back on course. And let's start with the first one, how to get your life back on course. Number 1 is you need to stop and take a break. Stop and take a break. Because what happens is when we realize that we're off course, we try to think about all the things that we can do right now to get back on course. I need to change my diet. I need to do this. I need to do that. We will say, I need to focus, or, I need to get myself together. That's all doing something. And in doing something, sometimes doing too much can get you off focus. So trying to do something to get back on focus can keep you off focus. So stop and take a break and give yourself mental and emotional time to sort through where you are right now. Let me say this to you. I want you to listen to me very carefully. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to give yourself time. It's okay. Whose timetable are you on? Whose timetable are you on? So stop and take a break. Don't try to do anything. Just stop. I think about the commercial, the Energizer Bunny. It keeps going and going and going and going and going. Well, sometimes you got to stop. You have to stop. You have to stop. So that's number one. Stop and take a break. Number two, evaluate what led you off course. Because guess what? There's always a reason. Whether it was an event that happened, maybe something was done or said to you, or, maybe you overexerted yourself. Maybe, and I'm going to talk about this in a few minutes, maybe the goal that you had for yourself wasn't the goal that was God ordained. Okay? There's always a reason why you got off course. And you're not doing this to judge yourself. So let me say that really, I want to really hone in on that. You're not doing this evaluation to judge yourself or be harsh on yourself. You're doing this to learn the lesson and say, okay, now I know what got me off course, so that next time I can be more aware if this condition or situation ever pops up again, that it's designed to get me off course. And also, while you're doing the evaluation, evaluate if there are deeper issues like depression or anxiety or anything like that. If you feel that it's something deeper than what you can control, if you feel that it's something deeper than what you can grasp or put your mind around, then I'm going to share with you the number 6, which is you're going to have to talk to someone. Right now we're on number 2. So evaluate what led you off course. And then that leads to number 3. Evaluate if the course you were on was the right one for you. Because guess what? We want to please mama, big mama. We want to please our boss at work. We want to please our boyfriends or whoever that's in our lives. And, we want to do all these things for everybody else. And we don't think about, what do I want to do for myself? What does God want me to do? Is this what God will have me to do? So evaluate if the course that you were on was the right course for you. And guess what? If it's not, that's okay. If it's not, that's okay. Don't think of it as you wasted your time, because you didn't. You invested yourself for the next course in your life that you're going to take. It was an investment, not a waste. And guess what? If it's not the right one for you, ask God to reveal the right course for you to take for your life. Whether that means, am I supposed to go back to school or not? Am I supposed to study this particular, field or not? Am I supposed to be a nurse, or am I supposed to be, a paralegal or a doctor or whatever, Asking the right questions and when you're reevaluating to get back on course is really important. And the beauty with asking God is you're asking the one who has the answers. You're asking the one who has the answers. But here's the thing. You have to be willing and open to the answers. Number 4 is you want to start streamlining your life. Start streamlining your life. Declutter your mind by journaling or talking to someone. And I have this practice that I do in my journal called Soul Dump. Whenever I feel like I have a lot going on in my mind, I also do it via audio journal. I have a recorder on my cell phone, and I will press record, and I will dump everything that's on my mind, whether it's good things that still just hold space in my mind, or whether I'm frustrated or angry or want to cuss. I even cuss in my journal and audio journal, because if I'm holding it in my heart, that's what causes the imbalance. That's what causes dis-ease in us, is holding stuff in. So you got to let it out. And every time I do my soul dumping, I always feel better. But here's the thing, when I do the soul dump, when I say it, when I write it, I don't return to it. The thoughts will try to come up in my mind, and I said, nope, I dumped that. The worry will try to come back, and I say, nope, I dumped that. And I do not take it back on. Or sometimes I'll say, I gave it to God when I dumped it. I gave it to God when I dumped it. So declutter your mind. This is all a part of start streamlining your life. Declutter your environment. Declutter your email, declutter your car, your social media, anything that's taking up unnecessary space. Declutter your refrigerator. Anything that's taking unnecessary space in your life, get it out. Because what we don't realize is how much stuff holds space in our minds and in our hearts. Because you're trying to manage all of this stuff, whether it's on a conscious level or a subconscious level. You're trying to manage stuff that really, to the core, doesn't really matter and doesn't have a value or service to your greater good. But you're holding on to it. You're looking at it every day, that corner in your room, or that, or in your house, or that closet that that half of the clothes in that closet and shoes you no longer can wear. It is just holding up space. Or your emails. You got 1,000 and 10,000 emails. Start clearing that stuff out. I was holding on to paperwork that I was saving from. My sister have passed away 10 years ago. I was holding on to paperwork of stuff that was involving the children from 10 years ago. They are all grown now. Well, one is about to go to college. I don't need stuff from 10 years ago. Why am I holding on to that? So I actually had to start purging. And I'm not even done purging yet. It was just that much stuff that's just holding space in my mind, in my life, because I had it in a certain box. Every time I looked at that box, I'm reminded that, that's the stuff. That's the stuff. That's the junk that I no longer need, that no longer serves me, that I'm still holding on to for whatever reason that I'm holding on to. And another thing about decluttering is getting down to the reason why you're holding on to stuff. So for me, what the stuff was, at the time, I wanted to keep everything regarding the children because I didn't know everything. I knew as much as I knew, but I didn't know everything. So I started holding on to every piece of mail, every, doctor's visit, piece of paper or whatever, because in my mind I needed to remember this stuff. I don't need to remember it. We never had to revisit it or go back over it. I never had to recall any of that stuff. But that was my way of responding to my new role as a guardian, caregiver, parent. So as you're decluttering, evaluate and ask yourself, why? Why am I holding on to this? Why am I allowing, all of these conditions to exist in my life? Moving on to number 5. Number 5 is start doing more of what you love. Start doing more of what you love. I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. What do I love? When was the last time I did what I love? What do I love? When was the last time I did what I love? And if your answer to the second question was you can't remember, then the third question is, what way can I incorporate what I love in my life right now? So that's number 5. Start doing more of what you love. Number 6 is you want to talk with someone. Talk with someone. Here's the thing I've learned as a life coach. A lot of my clients that I coach don't really need advice from me. I don't even really give advice for real. What I do is I ask questions, and I pull out of them the answers that's already within them. Or sometimes I make suggestions. And in those suggestions, the light comes on. They have aha moments and like, oh, yeah. Because most people don't really need someone to tell them how to do it or what to do. They just need to know that they can talk it out within themselves. And that's why talking to someone is important. Whether it's a trusted friend, whether it's a counselor, whether it's a life coach, you just want to talk through the situation. I have a friend, I call him every time I have a challenge. And I always say, he always joke with me and say, I owe you so much because he talked to me about his problems or whatever too. But I always say, no, I owe you because, I'll call and say, hey, I just need to talk through this right quick. And he'll listen. And then, if I ask for advice or ask for his input, he'll give his input. But for the most part, by the time I'm done talking, I've already talked myself into the solution. And we all have that capability. We all have that ability to do the same thing. So talk with someone. Talk out whatever it is that's on your mind and on your heart. Even if you're having to talk about, hey, I've gotten off course. This is how I think I got off course. And, right now, it may be, I don't think I want to get back on that path. And be okay with that. Or if I do get back on that path, this is the solution. These are the steps that I need to take to get back on that path. Or if it's a new path, I want to go in a new direction with my life, and this is the direction that I want to go, and how I see it, working out for me by doing X, Y, Z. Talking it out really helps you to get back on course or to I'm going to talk about this in number 8, or to create a new course. But before I get to that, I want to do number 7. And number 7 is pray and meditate. Pray and meditate. So this means to resume or start your spiritual practice, whatever that is. If you already had a spiritual practice and maybe you have not done it in a long time, then resume your spiritual practice. If that means getting up 10 minutes, 15 minutes earlier than you normally do, just so you can spend some time in quiet contemplation and meditation and prayer, do that. Or if that means turning off the radio in your car while you're driving from one point A to point B to have that quiet contemplation, meditation, and prayer time, do that. But be intentional about it. Be intentional about your practices. And if you don't have a spiritual practice, I encourage you to discover what that may look like and mean for you and start a spiritual practice. Which leads to the last one, and that is to realign or recreate. Realign or recreate. By realign, I mean if you've gotten off course and you know that that's the course that you're supposed to be on, that this is your, life course that you're supposed to be on, whether it's a goal, whether it is a life course, whether it's a course in a relationship, whatever, realign with that course. In other words, I start fine-tuning some areas in my life by going through the steps that I just prescribed. And now that I'm fine-tuning, like that car, I no longer veer to the right or to the left, but now I drive straight ahead because I'm more focused, I'm more intentional. Or the second part of this resolution is to recreate, which means that, yeah, I fell off course, but that wasn't really my course. That was a course that, my family had for me. I really want to be over here. This is where I know God is leading me to. This is where I know I'm supposed to be. So now I recreate that new course. And in recreating a new course, you're recreating it from your standards, your ways of being, your ways of doing, your ways of having, not from someone else's. So let me give you those 8 ways to get back on course one more time. Number 1, stop and take a break. Give yourself mental and emotional time to sort through where you are right now. Number 2, evaluate what led you off course. Number 3, also on that, don't judge yourself harshly when you evaluate. Number 3 is evaluate if the course you were on was the right one for you. Number 4 is start streamlining your life. Declutter, get rid of, unfollow, unfriend, take a sabbatical from social media, start focusing on cleaning your home, cleaning your refrigerator, cleaning your cabinets, cleaning your life, whatever that is and looks like for you. Number 5 is start doing more of what you love. Number 6 is talk with someone. Number 7 is pray and meditate. And number 8 is realign and recreate. Realign and recreate. So I hope this message was a blessing to you. I thank you so much for taking time to be with me tonight and to listen and all of that. Again, if you want to give or sow a seed towards this, if it's been a blessing to you, you can do so via paypal.me/IamDeAquilin or Cash App, which is $I am Deaquilin. That's IamDeAquilin. So with that, I'm going to stop the recording. And if you have a question or want to leave a comment, I want you to stay on the line for live Q&A. Thank you again for being a part of the call. I send love, light, peace, and blessings to you. Take care.